Your grind must match your goals. That's a principle most people overlook when they talk about dreams and success. Everyone wants the success. Everyone wants the lifestyle, the freedom, the recognition. But very few are willing to put in the grind that actually matches the size of their dreams.
There is a silent power that governs every achievement, every downfall, every moment of joy and despair in your life, and that power resides in your thoughts. Your mind is not merely a vessel for idle dreams or fleeting worries. It is the master key to your destiny.
Your mind has limited capacity. You can only think about so many things at once. So if your mind is full of worry, doubt, fear, and negative thinking, there's no room for the thoughts that could actually help you. There's no room for creative thinking. There's no room for solution thinking. There's no room for opportunity thinking. But when you clean up your mental diet, when you start controlling what goes into your mind, everything changes. When you stop feeding your mind mental junk food and start feeding it mental nutrition, your whole life transforms.
You can't expect $1 million results with minimum wage effort. You can't say you want to be great and then work like you're average. Your work ethic, your consistency, your hustling, all has to line up with what you say you want. If it doesn't, then you're not chasing a dream. You're just wishing. Think about it. If you say you want to be the best in your field, then your actions have to prove it. That means waking up earlier, staying up later, putting in more hours, learning more, practicing more. You can't do what everyone else is doing and expect to get something different. You got to go above and beyond. You got to be obsessed with your goal. That's what grind is. It's not about working hard once in a while. It's about doing it every single day, even when no one's watching, even when there's no applause, even when there's no immediate reward. A lot of people talk a big game. They post quotes on social media. They say they're grinding. They make big promises. But then you look at their habits. You see them sleeping in, skipping the small steps, procrastinating. That grind doesn't match the goal. You say you want to start your own business, but you're not reading, not learning, not planning, not saving. You say you want to be a professional athlete, but you're not training, not dieting, not pushing your limits. That's the disconnect. The grind has to match the goal every single time. There's no shortcut, no cheat code. If you want to build something massive, your grind has to be relentless. If your dream is heavy, your hustle better be heavier. People forget that success isn't given. It's earned through sweat, through focus, through sacrifice. Every goal has a price tag, and that price is paid in time, energy, effort, and discipline.
Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve, but too many let their thoughts drift like a ship without a rudder, tossed about by circumstance, by fear, by the opinions of others. Let me tell you now with unwavering certainty, you become what you think. Think of success, and you summon the energy, the drive, and the clarity to reach it. Think of failure, and you invite its shadow to cloud every opportunity. Thoughts are not wisps of nothingness. They are seeds, and like all seeds, they grow. Whether you plant weeds or wheat is your choice. Every great man or woman you admire, every towering monument of human accomplishment began first in the solitude of a mind, daring to believe. The thought came first, the empire, the invention, the revolution followed. But belief alone is not enough. You must direct your thoughts with purpose. You must discipline the mind. You must train it like a muscle, feed it with faith, shield it from doubt, and drive it with definite purpose. If you allow fear to creep in, fear of poverty, fear of criticism, fear of failure, it will strangle your desires before they take root. Understand this. Your outer world is a direct reflection of your inner world. Your circumstances are not chance. They are mirrors. If you desire to change your life, do not look first at the world. Look within. Ask yourself, what thoughts am I entertaining? What beliefs am I clinging to? Are they building me or breaking me? There is no success without intentional thought.
Think about it this way. You wouldn't eat garbage and expect to be healthy, would you? Of course not. But most people are feeding their minds garbage every single day and wondering why they feel terrible. Your mind needs good nutrition just like your body does. What kind of books are you reading? What kind of music are you listening to? What kind of conversations are you having? What kind of TV shows are you watching? What kind of websites are you visiting? All of this is mental food. And just like physical food, mental food either makes you stronger or weaker. There's no neutral. I started asking myself better questions, and that changed everything. Instead of asking, why does this always happen to me? I started asking, what can I learn from this? Instead of asking, why is life so hard? I started asking, how can I get better at handling challenges? Instead of asking, why don't I have what I want? I started asking, what do I need to do to earn what I want? The quality of your questions determines the quality of your life. Poor questions give you poor answers, but good questions give you good answers. Your mind is like a computer. It will give you exactly what you program it to look for. If you ask it to look for problems, it will find problems. If you ask it to look for solutions, it will find solutions. Most people ask terrible questions all day long. Why me? What if this doesn't work? What if I fail? What will people think? These questions program your mind to find evidence for all your fears and doubts. But successful people ask better questions. How can I make this work? What would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? What's the opportunity here?
If you're not willing to pay that price, then you don't really want it. It's that simple. Let me give you an example. If someone tells me they want to be a doctor, that's a serious goal. That goal requires years of study, long nights, stress, exams, internships, constant learning. So if your grind is weak, if you can't sit down and study, if you can't manage your time, if you give up after one bad grade, you're not going to make it. The goal demands a certain grind. You have to meet that demand or you fall short. Same goes for business, sports, music, anything. Every dream has requirements, and your work ethic is either meeting those requirements or it's not. What separates winners from losers is not talent, it's not luck, it's not even intelligence, it's the grind. The person who keeps showing up, keeps pushing, keeps growing, that's the person who wins. The grind builds character, it builds toughness, it builds the mental strength to keep going when things don't go your way. And that's something no one can give you. You got to earn it through work, through pain, through patience, through grind. And don't get it twisted, grinding doesn't mean burning yourself out. It doesn't mean chaos. It means intentional focus, consistent effort. It means building systems. It means prioritizing the things that get you closer to your goal and cutting out the things that don't. If you say you want something big, but your life is full of distractions, full of bad habits, full of wasted time, then your grind is weak. You've got to be real with yourself. Look at your schedule. Look at your choices. Are they helping you? Are they moving you forward? Or are they just keeping you busy? Sometimes the grind is quiet. It's not glamorous. It's not Instagram worthy, but it's effective. It's waking up early to write one more page. It's staying late to finish that workout. It's saying no to the party so you can work on your craft. It's repeating the same drill 100 times until you get it right. It's boring. It's repetitive. But that's what excellence requires. That's what growth demands. And that's the grind that matches the goal. If you truly want to achieve something big, stop talking and start doing. Match your energy to your ambition. Match your actions to your vision. Match your grind to your goals. Because the dream will not work unless you do. Every single day, you have a chance to move closer to your goal. Every single day, you can choose to grind or to coast. And if you choose to grind consistently, with passion and purpose, there's nothing you can't do. So stop dreaming small and grinding smaller. Dream big, but grind even bigger. That's how you win. That's how you rise. That's how you turn goals into reality.
What can I learn from this? Here's another powerful strategy I learned. You must control your mental diet just like you control your physical diet. Every single day, you're feeding your mind thousands of thoughts, ideas, images, and concepts. Most people are completely unconscious about what they're putting into their mind. They'll spend 30 minutes reading labels at the grocery store to make sure they're eating healthy food, but they'll spend hours filling their minds with mental junk without giving it a second thought. Your mental diet consists of everything you expose your mind to, the books you read, the conversations you have, the music you listen to, the videos you watch, the people you spend time with. All of this becomes part of your mental nutrition. And just like physical nutrition, it either makes you stronger or weaker. There's no neutral ground here. I made a decision years ago to go on a mental diet. I stopped reading newspapers that filled my mind with problems I couldn't solve. I stopped watching TV shows that made me feel angry or depressed. I stopped having conversations with people who only wanted to complain about life. Instead, I started feeding my mind with books written by successful people. I started listening to educational programs. We started having conversations about ideas and possibilities instead of problems and limitations. The change was remarkable. Within just a few weeks, I noticed that my thinking had become clearer and more positive. I was seeing opportunities that I had missed before. I was coming up with solutions instead of dwelling on problems. My energy level increased. My confidence grew. All because I changed what I was feeding my mind. I developed what I call mental disciplines. These are simple practices that help me control my mind instead of letting my mind control me. Every morning, I spend time thinking about what I'm grateful for. This programs my mind to look for good things instead of problems. Every day, I visualize my goals as if they're already achieved. This keeps my mind focused on where I'm going instead of where I've been. Every evening, I review my day and ask myself 3 questions. What did I do well? What could I have done better? What will I do differently tomorrow? This helps me learn from every experience and continuously improve. These mental disciplines might seem simple, but they're incredibly powerful. They help me stay in control of my mental state instead of being controlled by whatever happens to me during the day. Here's another crucial point. You have to guard your mind like you would guard your most valuable possession, because that's exactly what it is. Your mind is your most valuable possession. It's more valuable than your house, your car, your bank account, or anything else you own, because everything else you have came from your mind first. But most people are careless with their minds. They let negative people dump their problems on them. They listen to pessimistic news all day long. They expose themselves to violent, depressing, or trashy entertainment. They hang around complainers and critics. And then they wonder why they feel so bad all the time. I learned to say no to negative input.
You must hold your vision so clearly in your mind that it burns with intensity. You must see it, feel it, walk with it every day until the world has no choice but to conform to your conviction. And so I challenge you, master your thoughts. Guard them like treasure. Direct them like an army. Your thoughts are the architects of your future. And if you persist with clarity, with purpose, with faith, you will forge a life of abundance, peace, and power. Remember, the mind does not care what you plant. It will return what you sow. Plant dreams. Plant courage. Plant discipline. Plant purpose. And the harvest will astonish you. Master your thoughts, and you will master your life. Thank you. Your thoughts are the foundation of everything you do, every action you take, every decision you make, and every result you achieve starts first in the mind. There is no creation, no success, no failure that does not begin as a single thought. What you dwell on becomes what you live out. What you constantly think about becomes your habits, and your habits shape your destiny. You may believe that circumstances control your life, but the truth is more powerful. It is not your circumstances, but your thinking about those circumstances that determines your path. Thoughts are the invisible architects of reality. The world you experience is built, moment by moment, from the thoughts you allow to occupy your mind. If you think defeat, you will behave as if defeat is certain. If you think possibility, you will act with the courage that opens doors. If you think lack, you will see limitation everywhere. If you think abundance, you will begin to attract it. Thought precedes action. Thought ignites emotion. Thought forms belief. Thought sets the tone for every conversation, every relationship, and every opportunity. You must understand this. You do not become what you wish for. You become what you think about most consistently. Wishes are passive. Thoughts are active. Wishes float in and out. Thoughts settle in and take root. When repeated often enough, they become convictions. And convictions become the rules you live by. If you entertain thoughts of fear, of failure, of inadequacy, you will begin to see yourself as weak. You will begin to act with hesitation. You will begin to expect rejection. And that expectation becomes self-fulfilling. Guard your thoughts as you would guard your most prized possession, because they are. Your thoughts are the source of every treasure you will ever claim. You must become vigilant. Be the gatekeeper of your mind. Do not allow negativity to enter unchecked. Do not let envy or resentment take hold. Do not let other people's doubts become your beliefs. Many people fail, not because they lacked opportunity, but because they allowed the wrong thoughts to guide them. Thoughts of defeat, thoughts of comparison, thoughts of shame. You must cultivate your mind like a garden. Remove the weeds daily. Plant seeds of confidence. Water them with repetition. Expose them to the sunlight of positive influence. And protect them from the storms of fear. This is not just feel-good talk. This is the root law of achievement. What you think, you become. What you expect, you attract. What you focus on grows. You cannot expect success if you constantly rehearse failure. You cannot become strong if you constantly focus on your weakness. You cannot rise if your thoughts are tied to the ground. A single thought, when fed with attention, can grow into a powerful belief, and a belief becomes your operating system. If your operating system is faulty, it will crash under pressure. But if it is built on strong, empowering thoughts, it will carry you through storms. One who guards his mind guards his future. One who disciplines his thoughts shapes his character. One who chooses his thoughts wisely chooses his outcomes deliberately. This is the difference between a life of reaction and a life of direction. Do not leave your mind open to just anything.
Success is not for the chosen few. It's for the few who choose it. That single mindset can change everything. Most people live with the false belief that greatness is reserved for certain individuals, those born with special talents, those from privileged backgrounds, those who got lucky. But the truth is, success isn't locked away for a select group. It's available to anyone who's willing to work for it. Anyone who's willing to sacrifice, to push past fear, to stay consistent and grind day in and day out. It's not about being chosen. It's about making the choice. People love to blame circumstances. They say things like, I wasn't born rich, or I didn't get the same opportunities. They wait for the perfect time, the perfect conditions, someone to discover them, someone to hand them a chance. But life doesn't work that way. Success doesn't knock on your door randomly. It doesn't chase you down. You have to go after it. You have to wake up and choose it every single day. Even when it's hard, even when it's lonely, even when nothing is going your way. Especially then, the ones who win are the ones who make a decision deep down inside that they're not going to live average. They're not going to settle. They're not going to let fear stop them. They decide, this is my life, this is my dream, and I'm going to get it. That's not luck. That's not being chosen. That's courage. That's ownership. That's what separates the few who actually make it from the millions who only wish for it. Look around you. The most successful people you know weren't necessarily born with a silver spoon. Many of them started with nothing. They just refused to stay where they were. They believed they were capable of more, and they acted like it. They showed up early, they stayed late, they learned from failure, and they didn't quit. They didn't wait for someone to pick them. They chose themselves. They believed they were worth the effort, worth the grind, worth the process. You've got that same choice. You don't need permission. You don't need someone to validate you. You don't need a perfect background or a spotless record. You just need to make the decision that you want more and then follow through. The only thing standing between you and your goals is the decision to start and the discipline to continue. That's it. The problem is most people don't believe they're capable. They think success is something that happens to other people. So they shrink their dreams. They settle for just enough. They convince themselves it's not for them. But the truth is, it could be for them if they just choose it. If they stop making excuses, if they stop playing small. Success is a choice that shows up in your daily habits, in your mindset, in your grind. Every day you're either choosing it or you're choosing something else. You can't keep saying, I want more, while living like you're okay with less. If you want more, you have to move different, think different, work different. You have to start carrying yourself like the person you're trying to become. Not tomorrow, not next year, now. The person who succeeds doesn't wait until they feel ready. They act now and grow along the way. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be intentional. Make the choice to show up. Make the choice to stay hungry. Make the choice to stay in the game even when you feel like quitting. That's how you build momentum. That's how you build confidence. That's how you build a legacy. It won't be easy. You'll have days where you question everything. You'll face failure, doubt, disappointment. But guess what? So did every successful person before you. The difference is they kept choosing the goal. They kept showing up. They didn't let the pain stop them. They let it shape them. And every day they made a decision to rise, to grind, to grow. The beautiful thing is you get to decide. You can choose average or you can choose excellence. You can choose comfort or you can choose growth. You can choose excuses or you can choose results. The power has always been in your hands, but you've got to believe it. You've got to own it, because no one's coming to save you. No one's going to hand you your dream. You have to chase it. You have to fight for it. You have to claim it like it already belongs to you. So stop waiting to be chosen. Stop waiting for the right time. Start now. Choose success. Choose focus. Choose discipline. Choose your dream. Every time you get up early, every time you work through the pain, every time you say no to distractions, that's you choosing success. And if you keep choosing it long enough, with enough passion and enough commitment, one day success will choose you right back.
When someone wants to complain to me about their problems, I redirect the conversation towards solutions. When someone wants to gossip or criticize others, I change the subject or walk away. When I'm tempted to watch negative news or entertainment, I choose something more constructive instead. This isn't about living in denial or ignoring reality. This is about protecting your most valuable asset. Your mind is like a computer. What you program into it determines what comes out of it. Program it with garbage and garbage comes out. Program it with excellence and excellence comes out. Mental control also means learning to use problems as training opportunities instead of letting problems defeat you. Every challenge you face is a chance to strengthen your mental muscles. Every setback is an opportunity to practice resilience. Every obstacle is a chance to develop problem-solving skills. But here's what most people don't understand about challenges and difficulties. They're not punishments. They're not evidence that life is unfair or that you're unlucky. They're training sessions. They're opportunities for growth. They're chances to prove to yourself what you're really made of. Think about it this way. If you wanted to build physical strength, you wouldn't avoid lifting weights because they're heavy. You'd lift them because they're heavy. The resistance is what makes you stronger. The difficulty is what develops your muscles. The challenge is what creates the growth. The same principle applies to your mind. Mental strength doesn't come from easy times. It comes from difficult times. It doesn't come from success. It comes from overcoming failure. It doesn't come from comfort. It comes from pushing through discomfort. I learned this lesson when I was struggling financially in my 20s. I could have looked at my situation and said, this is terrible. Life is unfair. I'm a victim of circumstances. Instead, I chose to see it as my mental training ground. Every bill I couldn't pay became a lesson in financial discipline. Every rejection I faced became practice in persistence. Every failure became education in what doesn't work. This shift in perspective changed everything for me. Instead of feeling sorry for myself, I got excited about the growth opportunities. Instead of avoiding challenges, I started looking for them. Instead of hoping for an easy life, I started preparing for a meaningful life. Here's what successful people know that unsuccessful people don't. Your mind gets stronger by working against resistance, just like your muscles do. When you face a problem and work through it, your problem-solving ability increases. When you encounter fear and move through it anyway, your courage grows. When you experience failure and bounce back, your resilience develops. But if you avoid all problems, your mind stays weak. If you run from every challenge, your confidence remains low. If you quit at the first sign of difficulty, you never develop the mental toughness you need to succeed at anything worthwhile. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid all discomfort and difficulty. They want everything to be easy. They want success without struggle. They want rewards without effort. They want strength without training. But that's not how life works. That's not how growth happens. That's not how you develop the mental power to create an extraordinary life. Weak minds see problems and give up. Strong minds see problems and get excited because they know that solving problems is how you grow.
The mind, like the body, becomes what it consumes. Feed it garbage, and it weakens. Feed it truth, strength, clarity, and it grows in power. Surround yourself with voices that uplift. Read ideas that challenge and expand your thinking. Seek words that align with the future you want. Refuse to dwell on things that diminish your spirit. When you master your thinking, you no longer live by default. You live by design. Every great transformation begins in the mind. Every new level of success begins with new thinking. You cannot solve problems with the same thoughts that created them. Upgrade your thoughts, and your life upgrades with them. Choose thoughts of purpose. Choose thoughts of vision. Choose thoughts of belief in your ability to grow. Thoughts become reality, not by magic, but by repetition, emotion, and alignment. You are living today what you thought yesterday, and tomorrow will reflect what you think today. Everything begins in the mind. Every invention, every dream, every success story, every breakthrough. It starts with a single idea, an idea that is conceived in the quiet moments when belief whispers louder than doubt. The mind is the birthplace of all progress. It has no boundaries, no limits, no chains. Whatever it can imagine, it can also bring into being. But it is not enough to simply imagine. One must also believe, deeply, fully, unshakably. Without belief, conception remains only a dream. With belief, it becomes a mission. The mind is the workshop of creation. It is the unseen factory where all things are made. The body acts, the world responds, but the mind directs it all. Think about anything that exists today. It once did not. It existed only in thought. A plane, a bridge, a business, a cure, a movement, all began as thoughts in someone's mind. That person dared to believe that what was only imagined could one day become real. Belief was the fuel. Thought was the spark. Achievement was the result. To conceive is to form a clear mental picture, to see something before it exists, to hold it in the imagination, to picture it in full color, in full detail, with all the emotion and certainty of something already yours. This is not daydreaming. This is vision. This is the beginning of every transformation. You must see it first, in your mind, before it can exist in your life. The clearer the conception, the stronger the belief. The stronger the belief, the greater the achievement. Belief is the bridge between thought and reality. It is the unseen force that gives your ideas permission to grow. Without belief, your ideas will wither. With belief, they will thrive. Belief creates certainty. It gives you the strength to move forward when others quit. It gives you courage when circumstances say otherwise. Belief is not about blind hope. It is about firm expectation. It is the deep knowing that what you have imagined is already possible. The world does not reward wishers. It rewards those who believe with conviction, those who believe when it is difficult, those who believe when others laugh, those who believe when the evidence is not yet visible. Belief fuels persistence, and persistence makes achievement inevitable. If you can hold the image of success in your mind long enough and believe in it strong enough, you will move mountains to make it happen. You will find a way. You will not give up. You will attract the people, the resources, and the moments that make it real. There are no limits to what the mind can conceive. Only the limits we accept. Only the limits we place upon ourselves. If you believe something is impossible, it becomes so. Not because it is truly impossible, but because you refuse to see another way. But if you believe that something is within your reach, the path will begin to appear. The obstacles will begin to shrink. The right steps will come into focus. Belief opens the eyes. Doubt closes them. You must train your mind to conceive what you truly want, not what you fear, not what others expect, but what you desire with all your heart. Then you must build belief through repetition, through self-talk, through action.